I used to believe that the reason that we are the way we are is mainly individual. Of course, family and friends can influence the way that we communicate, but I mainly thought of it as you are your own person. And not until I learned the true meaning of culture did I realize how much that it has a major influence on how you grow up and who you grow up to be. So today I will talk about how my Japanese American culture has influenced my history, my identity, and my worldview. So first I will begin by talking about how my Japanese American culture has influenced my history. So my racial ethnic history is what I'm going to start out by talking about. And in schools throughout our lives, we've learned about World War II and about how Japanese Americans were put in internment camps because of the possible threat that they had on the United States. And learning about it in school was different for me because I think I took away from it a different kind of like mindset of it. And it connects to my family history that both of my grandparents on my mom's side grew up in internment camps. They were younger, but they were there while World War II was happening. And the family history, the stories that I have grown up listening to really resonated with me, and it helps understand my culture. And when interviewing my grandma about it, she told me about their everyday life and just what holidays were like and what you eat and the prejudice that there was afterwards. So the family history and racial ethnic history really connect, but they really, apply to my culture. So now that I've talked about my racial ethnic and family history, I will now talk about how my Japanese American culture has changed my identity. So my open self is very straightforward. I'm a 20-year-old Japanese American female, and I'm open about it with everyone, and I don't mind everybody knowing that. But my blind self it kind of shocked me a little bit, because when I asked my family and friends about it, they said that I'm quiet and shy, which I don't think of myself as shy. I thought I was very outgoing and all that, but now that I had time to reflect on it, I noticed that I think I am quiet and shy when I meet new people and if I'm in certain situations. And I think that has to do with my Japanese side. Like when you're talking to your elders, you always listen to them and you don't talk and you just kind of nod your head and take in what they're saying. So I think that kind of applies to my Japanese side. Now that I've talked about my open and blind self, I will talk about how my worldview has been influenced by my Japanese American culture. So Hofstede's value dimensions, the masculine value dimension kind of applied to my culture, I think, because when I was growing up, the men went off to work, and then the women, like my mom and my grandma, would always cook and clean and do stuff like that. So I think I grew up with a masculine value dimension. And as I've grown up and kind of been able to realize things for myself, I kind of appreciate a not gender specific jobs and all that. So I definitely grew up with a masculine value dimension, but I think it changed. And as for the Kluckhohn and Strodebeck value orientation, I think the time orientation is the most important to my culture, with the past time orientation. So growing up, I would always go to Obon festivals, and that's a Japanese festival that honors our ancestors and remembers them. And I've been going to them ever since I was little. And one of the things that we do to honor the ancestors is to dance. And so we learn these choreographed dances, and we walk and we dance in a circle. And most people dress up in kimonos and stuff like that. So my visual aid is a picture of my sister and I And we used to dress up in these kimonos and dance around, and I've been doing it ever since I was little, and that's why it relates to the past orientation, because we're honoring our ancestors and all that. So today I've talked about how my Japanese American culture has influenced my history, identity, and worldview. And not until, I think, under doing this project and completely understanding my culture did I realize how important my Japanese American culture is to who I grew up to be. Thank you.